that we've uncovered this. You might want to grab that. Now you look, remember we said we did an injury cost analysis, and we broke down the injuries by the different types. You see the slip, trips, and falls, and again, the owner thought cuts were the problem, because that's what they saw, that's what they perceived to be the issue. But there's about 10 slips, trips, and falls, made up about 70,000 or so of that 121,000 in cost. So probably a place where we should focus. And you can see the rest of them up there, the top between the cuts. And you'll see this a lot with the cuts, where they're frequent. They may be at the top of the list as far as the total claim count, but they tend not to have the greatest dollar amount, unless you cut a tendon or go a little deeper or so forth. But definitely a concern, definitely a problem, but is it their main problem? Not necessarily. So let's hear about some HR components that this employer might want to think about.
Good morning.
So?
My name is Kim Kosa, and I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about this because I think one of the things that we often underestimate when it comes to how to modify behaviors is the culture within an organization. And the one thing I'll say to you about all three of these case studies is this is the major underlying problem, is the culture. The culture has to start at the top. And the fact that the owners and the managers don't even know what the policies are, how can you expect employees to do that? There's no consistency, you're not involving them, there's just not a whole lot going on when it comes to any type of expectation, accountability, but that was true from the owners down. It wasn't just the employees, it was the managers, it was the owners. Culture starts at the top, and you're going to create a culture, one way or the other. I mean, them having employees that are intoxicated and causing falls is part of their culture. So it starts with the culture of your business, and you're going to create a culture, so you might as well have some influence over that culture. So one of the other things was, the internal practices. There's no understanding, there's no consistency, and there's absolutely no accountability until there's an incident, right? And at the end of the day, the owners and managers are who are accountable. But employees should also be accountable, but you have to teach them to be accountable and create a culture that is accountable. Leadership and engagement. I saw a lot of and heard a lot of, I don't want to spend the time or the money to do that. You're going to spend the money one way or the other. So you can either prevent it and create a culture of safety that's going to save you money, or you can spend it out at the end of the day by paying higher rates. And on top of that, you've got a whole, when you have a culture that is very loose and no one really knows what's going on, there's no consistency, that trickles down to your customers. If there's no consistency in your culture and expectation of how they're to behave and what they should be doing, that's going to trickle down to your customer service and to your customers as well. Everyone says, well, I might lose people, right? That comes up a lot. Well, I might lose someone if I start implementing these policies and procedures. And I would say to you, if you're losing people over creating a culture of safety, these aren't people you want in your organization anyway. Are they so great that they're worth paying an extra $50,000 a year? I don't know. I've never had an employee like that. When you create programs and engage people in these programs, you'd be really surprised how quickly they get on board with this. And you don't have to be the cop about everything. If you get everyone engaged in this, they start policing each other. Hey, you know what? That's kind of that's been little. I want you to bring it back. So why don't you do this? But when you talk about not having an orientation or showing a video to employees and there's no follow-up, how many people slept through that orientation? Adult learners don't learn like that. So you have to really create some programs, and they're not always expensive. They're not